Thanks for tuning in to the Real Women Chronicles podcast. I am your international certified life coach, Tiaudra Taylor. The sole purpose of this podcast is to get you from where you are now to where you want to be. Yes, it's time to break chains and to get unstuck. Thanks again for joining in. Let's begin. Hello, happy Wednesday, everyone. Thank you guys, as always, for joining in on yet again another Real Women Chronicles podcast. I am your host, certified life and relationship coach, Tiaudra Taylor. Listen, I hope you guys have had a great week since I last posted the podcast. I really pray that God is doing amazing things in your life. And I feel like going forward, I want to utilize this year of 2020 to really talk about the things that we want. And I'm a firm believer that if we stay stuck in rehearsing bad habits, bad relationships, bad circumstances, that it doesn't allow our mind to move forward and start thinking about what we want. And that is exactly what this podcast today is going to be all about. You guys know that I am powerful when it comes to talking about breakups because I've lived it. It's not just a professional opinion that I give you guys, but it's also personal opinions that I give you guys. You guys know, for the most part, I'm super transparent on these podcasts. But the good Lord has led me to talk about the signs that you want to look for when you've found that special someone. Whether you're dating, whether you're getting over a breakup, whether you're in a relationship right now, I believe that this podcast and this episode can really be a blessing to you. And I've developed 10 key signs that I absolutely have found to be very helpful for me in my life and me just finding the husband that I needed. And I pray that these 10 signs will be a blessing to you as well. If you hear my cat's bell in the background, my microphone picks up all the signs in the background, and that's just my little black cat. I'm going to let him live today. So I'm going to jump right into the 10 signs. So the first, very first sign that should tell you that you may have found the right one or the one that's worth fighting for is that the love casts out fear. And I'm going to break down this passage. And as you guys, many of you guys know, this is one of the well-known passages in the Bible when the Bible references love and what love should look like. I must say that this passage is one that resonated with me the most when I was going through a toxic relationship, because whenever you're in a toxic relationship or whenever you're in a relationship that is not quite sitting right on your spirit, the fear is really going to supersede, the love. And you'll find yourself fearful in love. And typically, these are going to be toxic situations. I promise you, I've seen it over and over again. In a toxic situation, you're constantly afraid that your heart is going to be broken. You're constantly afraid that they're going to do something to hurt you. But listen, when you have found that right one, true, authentic love will cast out all fear. And I promise you. And if you do experience fear, it could be something that's deep-seated within you and has nothing to do with with your partner. I know my husband stood out from every guy I ever dated because I felt so comfortable in loving him. I felt like my heart was safe. I feel like he's not gonna do anything to hurt me. And let me tell you, that's the best feeling. But I've also been in relationships where I was just filled with anxiety all the time. You just never knew what the relationship was gonna, be like from week to week, sometimes day to day. So I truly believe you found the right one when your heart can rest. Number 2, the love allows you to be yourself. Trust me, anybody that you are intertwined with is going to bring out more of your true authentic self. You should never feel like you have to conform or be what they want you to be or act like they want you to act. No, honey, that one that God has for you will love you for exactly who you are, flaws and all. Okay? Number 3, this person encourages you to be better instead of forcing you to change or even feel bad for being who you are. Now, we all know, if any of you guys out there have gone through breakups or gone through toxic situations, or even if you're in one right now, this is a telltale sign. Okay? True love will allow you to change. They'll encourage you to do better. Say, for instance, you're a smoker, you smoke cigarettes, and hey, you have the soulmate, but he's just like, hey, baby, I want you to be around for a long time. So let's go through the necessary steps to help you really get rid of this habit. That's just an example, but true love is ultimately going to help you be better. But they're not going to try to force it upon you, and they're not going to make you feel bad for being who you are. Some of us women are emotional. Some of us women are, I believe each and every last one of us may have at least one or two personality flaws. I'll be the first to admit. And I'm a coach, okay? I have my degree in psychology, and I will still say that God is always working on us and tweaking our personality. So I definitely feel like when it comes to the person, that man or woman who loves you, they will encourage you to be better, but they won't try to force it upon you. Okay. Number 4, it's God sent. And let me tell you, when things are God sent, it doesn't feel uncomfortable. It just feels easy. I'm going to be honest with you, and I'm not going to, I know, you may think that I feel like, hey, if God sent a person in your life, your relationship is going to be perfect. No, absolutely not. My husband and I, we have it out. But at the end of the day, regardless of whether one day I just want to choke him and the next day I want to love him, I know that this man has been put here. And sometimes God puts people in your life to test those limits and those sensitive places that you need to work on. So if you feel like you found someone that God sent for you, that's the one. But if you have to question that, if you're not sure, go to the Lord for confirmation. But I truly believe that you'll know when you know. It's just one of those things. Moving on to number 5. Okay. I believe that if you found the one, you guys are willing to make healthy sacrifices. And it has to go both ways. We can't, constantly expect the man to make sacrifices and we want to stay stuck in our bubble and stuck in our routine and stuck in our independence. So if you guys are both coming together and you're willing to make healthy sacrifices, listen, you may have found the one. Okay. What is this? Number 6, I believe. Yes, I think I'm on number 6. Yes. The relationship is a relationship that you want, but you don't need. I believe that is vital. And every single relationship that we enter, we should want a person in our life. But whenever we step over the fence and we turn that want into need, it can sometimes be very toxic, which leaves us in these deep-seated places, dark places that for any reason, if the relationship falls apart, it's hard to come up from. I've coached people all around the world. And I know when you feel like you're in love, sometimes if we're not careful, that want will turn into a need. But hey, you have found the one. If you know and you can stand firmly in your own skin and say, you know what, I want this person. But for any reason, if this person doesn't want me back, I don't need them. I don't need them to survive. I can move on without them. Listen, you may have found the one. Because I mean, I truly believe that toxic relationships are so toxic at times that they make you feel like you need it, but it's more like a manipulation type of control and a narcissistic type of control. A lot of times over the codependent. And that's why you feel the need. And then the need also comes from you low self-esteem. And of course, how can you particularly find the one if you don't even realize that you are the one, that you are a prized possession? And so that's why I feel like this had to go on the list, because you absolutely have to understand that if you go into a relationship with a desperate need, you're probably attracting the wrong type of people. Okay? If this cat does not stay still, oh, this bell is driving me crazy. I knew I should have put him out. But anywho, girls, you know I keep it real on this channel. It is what it is. So let's move on, okay? And I believe I am on number 7, it must be some type of mutual trust. And it must go both ways. And what that means is, guess what? Ask yourself this. If you have found the right man or woman in your life, are you ready to trust? Or are you holding on to past hurts, to everybody who's disappointed you since the 3rd grade? Or are you open to giving this person a chance? Because sometimes, honestly, we can meet a trustworthy person, we can meet the one and not be ready to give them what they deserve. So it can go both ways, guys. And 2020, I want us to have a healthy mindset. I want us to be confident. I want us to be sure of ourselves. I want us to shake off all that past hurt and pain and just really reach for what we know we deserve. And in order to do that, some of those walls that you've built around yourself would have to be broken. And many women will walk around saying, I don't trust a man. Well, guess what? If you're not trusting men and you're verbalizing this in your spirit, then what does the law of attraction tell us? That you are going to meet men that you can't trust. So that's why, again, finding the one, if you guys aren't noticing this pattern here, is a lot about you and what your spirit is manifesting. Okay? So number 8, the relationship has balance. Listen, we all fall in love, but there comes a time where you have to have balance between being a wife, a business owner, a worker, an employee, whatever it is. A relationship requires balance. Sure, it's cute to be together 24/7, but is it really realistic? If being with somebody 24/7 takes you away from the time that you have to spend with your kids or the time that you have to chase your purpose, then it's pulling you away. And we have to be mindful that sometimes the devil sends us things that look good in a pretty package because he wants to tear us away from our purpose. He wants to tear us away from the people who actually need us to be on the right accord with God. And a lot of times I've noticed he does that by sending in good-looking men and women that distract us. So make sure that if you are thinking that you've found the one, that relationship has some balance. Number 9, you can focus on them without losing focus on you. Listen, y'all, if I cannot reiterate this enough, you will know when you have the right mate where there's no control, there's no force. They allow you to be free and to have your time and to focus on them, but also focus on you. Because anybody who comes into your life and they want your undivided attention, that's a red flag. And then once you give them that undivided attention, you start to lose focus on yourself. And that's why you will find many people, I was even one of them years ago, that you get out of a relationship